definitely think fighting has opened the path to redemption for me.
He went from this alcoholic kid to, professional fighter.
With us and supporting one of his own, Dustin Poirier. Also in the building, former President Donald Trump.
Dustin Poirier has a journey of a hero and the wins to prove it. But beneath every win, there's a struggle you weren't meant to see.
After sitting across from my son in prison clothes, begging God to keep my son from the streets.
But man, what a way to finish the story. You know, it's like a real life Rocky story. But I'm that guy to do it.
It's the story of a fighter who won it all, except for the one thing he fought for the most.
Like, who's this Dustin Poirier?
He loved to fight. Not necessarily with someone that he wasn't getting along with. He just wanted to have a fight with somebody. He rode around with his little bicycle and boxing gloves. That's what he wanted for Christmas. 2 pair of boxing gloves.
I think I was always a fighter. I just had it in me my whole life.
My father was a fighter. My grandfather was a fighter. It's just in my blood.
You know, and it got me into a lot of trouble.
1999, Lafayette, Louisiana. Dustin was just 10 years old, yet he was already starting to find trouble. Trouble that would set the tone for the fighter he was destined to be.
They'd get these boxing matches going on in the neighborhood, and Dustin did that, and he was the best out of all the little kids. And then there was this one guy and said, well, you haven't boxed me yet. And Dustin knocked out his teeth and broke his jaw, and he was 5 years older than Dustin. And we had to go to court for that.
I got expelled in 8th grade, and then I got put in in juvenile detention.
I remember leaving the juvenile jail after sitting across from my son in prison clothes, begging God to keep my son from the streets.
I don't think you really understand life at that age. You don't get to see your family. You're stuck in detention center for 3 months there. We share the cafeteria with the prison. So having prisoners make and serve us our food and stuff, I remember the first couple of days doing that. Oh man, this is real.
When I got out of that, I just never went back to school.
But for Dustin, trouble wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. From those early street scraps, a passion was born. And soon enough, he found a new kind of fighting, the one that would change his life forever.
This is a picture of me right when I started training. I was probably about 200 pounds in that picture. Big transformation.
What we have tonight is, our main event tonight is Joe Torres versus Dustin Poirier. Please come out, support these guys, support your local fighter.
Get him, Dustin! Knock his head off, baby. Got that, Dustin!
Around the time I started really looking into training in mixed martial arts was a fight that comes to mind is Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonner for the Ultimate Fighter. You know, and after seeing that fight and seeing those guys bleed and just try to beat each other up, no quitting either one of them. As I watched the fight and I said to myself, I can do this. I called the place and I asked him, I said, so if I come over here and train, will I be able to fight really against the other opponents? And yeah, you will. I was there the next day.
A lot of these kids that call me up wanting to fight think they first have the ability, then they think that it's easy, let's go and do it. So the first thing I do is I go to their gym and I spar them.
Used to wrestle when I was a little bit younger, before high school. Started doing kickboxing and judo and jiu-jitsu, and it just kind of snowballed and got bigger and started putting them all together and just kept fighting amateur fights. I just fell in love with the sport, really.
Raw talent can only take you so far. Dustin needed direction, someone who could shape that fire into real skill. And that's when he crossed paths with Tim Crater.
Crazy Tim.
Nuts.
Crazy Tim's coming back, baby. I met that guy in 98, I think. Tim Crater.
So the first time that I ever trained with Dustin, it was at a friend of mine's gym. One of my guys, Micah, said, hey, this kid right here, he's unbelievable. He's an amateur, but you need to go spar with him. So I put my mouthpiece in, I put my gloves on, and me and Dustin did a couple rounds. And I went in the bathroom, and I spit my mouthpiece out, and a bunch of blood came out of my mouth. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I said, this kid's going to be a f***ing world champion.
I was fighting in rodeo arenas. I was warming up in mud, dirt floors, chickens running around and stuff.
In Louisiana and Mississippi and the places I was fighting.
I've only had 2 amateur fights.
I was 18 years old fighting 35-year-old men.
I've really had 9 amateur fights, but only 2 were actually like what I would say amateur rules with puffy gloves and stuff.
Yeah.
7 other ones I had were where you show up to fighter meeting and you wear 4-ounce gloves and they say, hands up if you guys want to throw elbows. Okay, tonight we're throwing elbows.
And it's amateur fighting. You shouldn't be allowed to throw elbows. Everybody's coming back to the locker room, split open, stitches everywhere. Or I've been to events where the same thing, we go to the rules meeting and they say a couple fights fell off of the card, so these fights aren't going to be 3-minute rounds, they're going to be 5-minute rounds. So now you're fighting 5-minute amateur rounds.
Like I fought pro fights, I just didn't get paid for it.
A kid that's 21 years old with 15 fights and 1 loss would for sure need to step out a little bit and go fight in a major organization.
He received a call to fight in Canada, where a victory could secure him a spot with WEC.
Coming in tonight, it's my WEC debut. You know, it's my first day on the job, so I'm gonna come in and do work and make sure it's Danny's last day on the job.
Dustin's a well-rounded fighter. I don't think he's outstanding at anything. I'm looking to bust him up on my feet, take him down, bust him up with some more elbows, and look for the choke.
You know, I'm coming in 7-0. And I'm leaving 8-0.
This fight's very important to me. I've been extremely motivated. I'm looking to end the fight early and show the lightweight division that I'm back.
I got picked up by the WC and lost my first fight there by decision.
For the winner by unanimous decision, Danny Lasco Castillo.
Dude, every loss is heartbreaking, but that one hurt me financially because like I was fighting on the local scene. Yeah, I thought, I'm going to Vegas, I'm fighting on TV, I'm about to really make it. And then your coroner's flights get deducted and your medicals get deducted and this and that gets deducted and you lose the fight and then you're like, damn, I was making more fighting in 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah. And, came back with a knockout.
Here comes 53 seconds, round number 1, stoppage due to strikes for your winner by TKO victory, Dustin the Diamond Poirier!
Gathered a lot of information. Now I confidently present it to you and ask you the question, is WEC merging with UFC?
Yes. The Ultimate Fighting Championship and World Extreme Cage Fighting have merged.
With the UFC and WEC merging, Dustin got the call to step in last minute, replacing Jose Aldo to face the division's #1 contender.
21 years old. That's an awesome advantage to have, to be so young and be making your UFC debut.
As a last-minute replacement in a weight class that I never fought at, and I was ready, for that opportunity. Took it and beat up the #1 contender.
With each fight, the stakes grew higher, but beneath the surface, a deeper question remained.
And he hands the young Max Holloway his first loss.
What does Dustin really want?
Just turned 23 2 weeks ago. My 4th fight in the UFC. On a good streak, finishing fights. I think Korean Zombie will be a fun fight, a good matchup.
A year ago, I was hoping one day to be in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, just fighting under the name. Now I'm headlining a show, man. It's just crazy. This journey is just like the fruit of my labor. It's everything that I've dreamed about and done the right things towards to make it happen, and it's actually happening. I'm living my dreams.
What's your dream right now?
My dream is to be the best fighter that I can be. I want to have the UFC championship around my waist. All these years with my wife struggling and taking food out of the grocery basket because we couldn't afford it, sacrificing a lot. I just want to say it was all worth it because once you become the world champion, that's forever. My wife and I have been together since we were in middle school. She's a ride or die, man. That's my girl.
The first time I ever saw him, he was actually kind of getting into a little scuffle with some kids.
We were 19 years old, we bought our first house, so I had a mortgage. I had grown man bills, man.
Before I started making money fighting, and even while I was a pro, for the beginning of my pro career, I drove a delivery truck for a buildings distribution company and went on job sites and delivered doors, windows, picked them up, drove them all over Louisiana. What's beautiful though, my wife has been there since the first fight when I was 18.
That's nuts.
Yeah, dude. She drove me to the first fight.
Me and her in Louisiana. I rode a bicycle to work. We would both use her car. She would pick me up after she worked all day and bring me to the gym. Dude, she used to drive me to like Lake Charles and these Motel 6, dude, gunshots and stuff. And outside, she would, dude, crazy, man. She's been my dog, man.
Has she been?
Yeah, she's been. For sure, I wouldn't be as far in my career without her.
But the first time I had a real payday was in the UFC. First time I made money and looked at the check and deposited it and then looked at my wife and said, you know, I can make a living doing this, for real. Besides being the champ in fighting, I want to be remembered. You know, I want to be like a guy people put in DVDs and rewatch him fight and show their friends. You know, I want to have a legacy. I want to be like a Fedor, not just win fights and a guy who was in the UFC for a while and did well. You know, I want to be a guy that's a staple in mixed martial arts. When you start, you know, people have conversations about mixed martial arts, my name is going to be brought up. That's what I want. I want to leave behind a legacy.
I just want to be the world champion, and then I'll go back to delivering windows.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
People who say that this is a crazy dream or like a fantasy dream that I'm chasing and then I won't be able to do it, you know, what's their dream? What are they going to do with their lives?
It's time!
Well, I'll find out, you know.
Nice little elbow off the clinch from Poirier.
I'll find out. I'll push this as far as I can push it.
These guys are going at it. Korean Zombie just finished it with his own two.
I trained hard. I owed it to my wife and to myself. You know, it's a big hit to me, man. Like, this is my life. You know.
And you weren't gonna tap, man. You were just gonna go get put out. You were like,
I don't know. I felt it closing, and then he just kind of stopped it. I don't think I was out. Was I out?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to grow from this, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to win. No doubt about it. Either I'm going to win or I'm going to die in the cage. One of the two is going to happen.
After the loss, Dustin sat with his coach to make a tough decision. It was time to leave Louisiana and join one of the world's top gyms, American Top Team, to take his career to the next level.
Moving to South Florida, I think, is the best thing for me. There's a lot of great fighters in Lafayette, Louisiana at Gladiators, but, you know, there's just not the top level professional fighters to push you every day, not enough hungry fighters to beat you up every day, and that's what I needed, and so I came here.
Dustin found his rhythm, winning 4 out of his next 5 fights. But just when it seemed like everything was falling into place, a new challenge would threaten to tear it all down. Conor McGregor, the most notorious trash talker in the game. With his psychological warfare and relentless mind games, he's known to finish his opponents before even entering the cage.
Look into my eyes, little man. Little Brazilian. Ooh, vamos, hey. What you got to say now?
And he quickly got under Dustin's skin.
I don't relax, I don't celebrate, I sit and plot. I went home and sat in a dark room and plotted out who's next. And now here we are, Las Vegas. Dustin P-Head Poirier is next. His weakness is obviously his chin. You know, look, don't get me wrong, I like the kid. He's a quiet little hillbilly from the back arse of nowhere. You know, I have nothing against the guy, you know what I mean? I'm sure he grew up in a circus or a fair, you know, he's a nice little kid.
You fought some of the best fighters in the division, but is this your toughest test today?
Man, to tell you the honest truth, I fought tougher guys, and if Conor could fight half as good as he can speak, you know, I think it would be.
Dustin thinks it's all talk. Dustin thinks it's all talk, but when he wakes up with his nose plastered on the other side of his face, he's gonna know it's not all talk. Coming up against me, that's not gonna be good. You know, I'm gonna crack him with a jab, and he's gonna wobble, and I'm gonna put him away early. It's gonna be a first round KO, mark my words.
He's never been knocked out, but yet you say that his weakness is his chin, and you're gonna knock him out. What have you seen? Or
all you gotta do is look back at his previous fights. Every time he fights, he gets dropped to one knee.
He lands with the left. Oh!
The chin can only take so many cracks before it deteriorates. He seems to me a fighter that probably spars a bit too much rather than learn. His skill level has remained the same, if not dropped a little bit, and his chin has certainly got less.
Sweat. My boy's coming. You want to get this on camera? Did he?
They're ready to fall. He was saying all this stuff throughout the Diego Brandao fight like he wanted it, and then guess what happens? He gets it. Now here's your opportunity. Now we're face to face and we're man to man. Now what?
I could sense panic in the young boy. I could see it in him, you know what I mean? You can't hide it, you know, you can hide it with words, but you can never hide it with your eyes and with your body language. It's impossible.
I've never disliked somebody that much I've ever fought.
I'm a nice guy now. What? I've never disliked anybody as much as I've disliked this guy. He likes me after I whoop his ass. I might have to whoop it twice.
It is. It's personal and it's business. It's a grudge match. I don't like this guy, you know, and I'm not sure. It sounds like he doesn't like me, obviously.
I have no emotion towards him, good or bad. I don't dislike him and I don't like him. I don't anything him. For me, he does not exist.
Well, we're gonna go in there and see who's a better fighter. You know, that's what it comes down to.
Make no mistake, he's afraid. He's a scared little boy, and panic is setting in. His shots are basic, and I believe this is where it comes to an end. You know, when he walks into something sharp off me, he's going to hit the canvas hard, and that will be that.
Boy. Yeah, you ain't.
What's up? That's good. What's up?
You look closely at his eyes. They're offline to where I am. Emotions cloud reaction. So when I shifted fast, his emotions were clouding his reaction, so his eyes couldn't track me. The same way it's going to be in the fight. When I shuffle in there and make them little sharp turns, his eyes won't be able to follow my movement. That's when the shot will hit him. That's when he'll go stiff. What do you think?
I like it.
Nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I definitely am in his head. I'm not only his head, I believe I'm in everybody's head at the minute, you know, so it's perfect. I'm just a little Irish crazy kid that doesn't give a what none of these guys think, and I'm just here handling my own business. You have the side shaved, yeah? It makes you more aerodynamic. You know what I mean? Faster.
How do you plan on beating Dustin this weekend?
I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna play off his panic. I sense panic every time I look at that young boy. So I'm gonna go in and play with it. And that is it. I believe he chokes in big contests. This is a big contest, and he will choke. From Dustin's words, that way of life was not good enough. Where he came from was not good enough to become world champion. So he moved away, he moved abroad. His hometown was not good enough. That is not a world champion mindset. A world champion mindset celebrates their surroundings. Like myself, I've been with my coach since day one, with my team since day one. That is where world champions are bred. When you are in a state of mind that you need to move to another area because your home area is not good enough, it's not that your home area is not good enough, it's that your mind is weak and you do not believe in your ability. That for me is the path of a journeyman, the path a journeyman takes, and that is why I've labeled him a journeyman.
Talked about Louisiana, talked about my family, talked about my skill set, thought about everything he said too much. Then I would read comments and I would read articles of what critics and media are saying in press conferences, everything. And during those moments, I just felt like his aura just was taking over the room everywhere we went. And when we got into the octagon that night, I felt that aura. It didn't seem like I was fighting another man. I was fighting a myth, a legend. It was crazy. I felt like I was in there to slay a dragon. You know, I felt like I was facing Goliath.
Conor McGregor, Joe, we may find ourselves just sitting back.
Dustin came out, but he's spooked. He's done. The emotions are running high. He's trying to run it off, trying to shake it off. Watch this. You see that little stop right there? It's fear. These are all little tells for me in mental warfare, in psychological warfare.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
Boom, that shot around the ear. See that shot right there? You can see him wobble. This one here, we exchange left hooks. Boom. Look, he wobbles. Look at him. He's like Bambi. Just above the ear, the perfect legal shot. You can quote me on this. When you wake up after your head clatters off the canvas, you will know it's not all talk. And when Dustin's head clatters off that canvas, what happened? He woke up after his head clattered off the canvas. It's not all talk no more. You can have anything you want if you want it badly enough. You can be anything you want to be. Do anything you set out to accomplish if you hold to that desire with singleness of purpose.
It's often said that pressure makes diamonds, and this rings true for Dustin. Each loss only fuels his fire, leading to an even stronger comeback.
He will come back stronger, more determined, better, and more experience.
The goal was to stay at 45 and be the world champ, or at least fight for the belt before I moved up. But me and my coaches always knew that I had to move up. I was just getting too heavy and it was hurting me too much. So when I lost to Conor, I realized I got 2 or 3 more fights to put myself back in that title position, and we just can't do it.
Poirier pouring it on. That'll do it. We have got a new lightweight contender, Dustin Poirier.
Every time I step into the cage, it's a better version of myself. Yeah, we'll see. In 2 months, my wife's giving birth to her first child, and I'm damn sure not going to be in a training camp for that. So I'm going to sit back and enjoy this win and go home, become a father, and see what's next.
The biggest turning point in Dustin's career came after his wife gave birth to their first child and getting knocked out together in the same night.
You bouncing back from losses, I think, is gigantic, because it's one of the most devastating things for a fighter. You train for weeks or months, and then you have this big moment, and then before you know it, it's over, and you've lost.
When going through this journey, was there ever a time when you thought about stopping? Did that ever occur to you?
After every loss. My little girl's a sweetheart, man. It's crazy to see her develop, and I was always fighting mostly for myself. This is a very selfish sport, but now having a daughter, you know, it's actually changed the way I look at fighting. You know, I got people depending on me. That's the biggest motivation I could ever have.
You gotta have the monster. In order to be a world champion in any type of combat sport, you have to have that monster.
Fought Anthony Pettis, a former world champion, beat him. Fought Justin Gaethje.
Oh, nice combination by Poirier.
Former world champion, finished him.
Dustin Poirier by
Eddie Alvarez,
knockout.
multiple organization world champion, stopped him.
That is it!
I've been close to the mountaintop, I've been knocked down, and I've climbed back over and over again, 2 different weight classes.
I just never quit, never lost focus. No matter what happened, whenever the belt was gonna be on the line, I was gonna win it.
The biggest fight in UFC history. Khabib Nurmagomedov, Conor McGregor.
He's got it, it's under the neck.
There's the tap, still undisputed.
Look at him screaming at the corner.
And now Khabib jumps the fence.
No.
And he's going right at Dylan Dennis. Mayhem.
The Nevada State Athletic Commission voted unanimously on Tuesday to suspend UFC stars Khabib Nurmagomedov.
9-month suspension and a $500,000 fine.
It was a little harsh in my opinion, but you know, it is what it is.
The belt can't be on the shelf that long. That would be one of the rare occasions where they do an interim title fight.
So now you get to this dream, this insane dream that less than 1% of all professional fighters ever get. You're there, and now your 3-year-old and your wife can watch it. Yeah. How dope is that?
Incredible.
No matter what happens, Dustin,
yeah.
I don't give a what happens. You've done it, man.
He hurt him. He's hurt bad. Oh, Poirier's all over him. Man, this kid has heart.
And new interim lightweight champion of the world, Dustin the Diamond
Poirier. Like, you're gonna be a world champion, I'm gonna tell you I told you so. And that night in Atlanta, in the hotel room, she came up to me and said, I told you so.
Dustin Poirier paid in full. A lifetime's work consummates in a UFC title for Poirier.
And this sets you up for a fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov for the undisputed title.
Get your together, young man. We got a belt to fight for. Khabib, let's go.
He deserves title shot. I think I have to maul him, like I do with everybody.
Khabib is undefeated in his career and has looked absolutely spectacular in each one of his victories.
I truly think he is the best lightweight in the world.
When people talk about Khabib, they say you're looking at the best fighter in the world.
A lot of people call me number one fighter.
Nurmagomedov under the chin, there's the tap! Khabib Nurmagomedov, 28-0! The standard upon which all lightweights will be judged.
I was just so prepared, and now I gotta wake up and look myself in the mirror every morning with this result, and
This one really hurts.
I wanted to leave tonight the world champ, and just let myself down, man.
You know, fighting is a microcosm for life. The credit belongs to the person that's out there and the person that's putting themselves on the line to do something, to be something, to push their level and push who they are as a person to greater and greater heights. For Dustin Poirier to lose, it's going to take someone to beat him. But Dustin is not going to beat himself.
He loses better than anyone on the planet. Loses or wins. He just goes, hey, I'm just going to get better.
Could be some guys just don't know how to lose, you know?
Yeah.
He's been on top, so successful for so long, and you realize you're human.
That is an important thing, right? Learning how to lose, because there's some guys that for whatever reason, they have all this confidence, all this momentum, and then when they lose a fight, it's not just that they lost the fight, they lose like 30% of who they are.
Yeah.
They lose their aura, they lose their confidence, they lose this feeling that no one's going to beat them.
The next title shot is on the horizon, and it's time to shed some blood.
You know, Dan came to fight. He's a tough guy. He's on the rise. He really thought that he was going to get past me. He talked a lot of trash, like he was going to move forward and fight the champ.
Dustin Poirier, I'm going to smash your face in, and I'm going to end you.
But I'm the champ, man.
Just like a perfect storm of hype, of confidence, and of fighting abilities.
He's been stripped of both of his UFC titles because of inactivity.
He hasn't fought a mixed martial arts fight in nearly 2 years.
I showed you my hands, no weapons.
26 have tried, 26 have failed. The king is back.
Who would believe that at this point?
Surprise, surprise, motherfucker! The king is back. Let's go. It's time.
But this time, Conor revealed a side we had never seen before.
So you've got the hot sauce, Dustin. I'm actually ready. I'd love to taste the hot sauce.
I got a bottle for you.
I appreciate that. I've got a bottle of proper for you.
What was it like fighting Conor when he wasn't an asshole? Was that weird?
It's great to be back here. I'm delighted I got the Louisiana hot sauce. I look forward to bringing the hot sauce in the fire tomorrow.
And of course, talk to Dustin Poirier, who is waiting on his bottle of proper 12 Irish whiskey.
It was nice, you know, because like I said, fighting is crazy. So without having guys spilling beer, yelling you're gonna die,
right?
You know, we're on the way to the walk. It's relaxing.
He's a much improved fighter since the first time they fought.
Oh, big left and now a right.
Oh, that hurt, man!
Dustin Poirier has knocked out Conor McGregor.
Oh my goodness!
I told you! That's the last time you're gonna doubt my husband, I swear to God.
Well, that didn't end well for Conor. The rivalry is far from over, but will he continue to play nice?
Yeah, towards that.
And his opponent, a former champion.
Boxing that opens up cat.
You can walk like a dog in that octagon on Saturday night. Your wife is your husband. Joe Lee's wife. Joe Lee's wife.
You used to be a lot better than that, man.
What? Yeah, shut your mouth, you little fool. I'm gonna dance on your head.
Conor, in the build-up to the last fight, you were unusually kind to Dustin. Now on fight week, it's the exact opposite. So when did that switch happen?
He got knocked the out. Not McGregor fast, McGregor sleep.
This man is gonna learn that if you disrespect a person's kindness and take it as a weakness, you must pay. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna make this man pay with his life, and I mean it. You're dead in that octagon tomorrow night.
Last question, win by KO or just to win? Saturday night.
KO out on a stretcher. This man is going.
His leg is broken, and that's definitely a hard one to take.
It sucks. It's brutal. It's you know, it's not the way you want to see fights end. So, you know, Dustin Poirier will fight for the title, and Conor's healed and ready to go. You do the rematch, I guess. I don't know.
I want to say it was my last fight.
The UFC lightweight champ has made it official.
To walk away at 29-0.
We're all lucky that we got to see him fight. He's ready to retire. I think he's done. I don't think he'll come back.
Charles Oliveira now the champion, Dustin stands ready to claim his shot and take on the challenge.
There is nobody within the sport that more clearly should have a title shot than Dustin Poirier.
Oh! There's a big right from Poirier.
What is it going to take to stop this guy? Dustin's in trouble. It's under the neck.
He tapped! And still, Charles Oliveira down him now, folks!
Another title shot slips through his fingers, leaving Dustin with nothing to take home. But does he still really want it?
Surprise, surprise! There's a new king in the lightweight division! Dustin Poirier, your time is coming and convenient!
Dom, let's work. For this fight with Chandler, not a whole lot of trash talk needs to happen. Let's go. When I'm booked on a card, you know you're gonna get violence.
For Dustin to earn another title shot, he'll need to do more than that. Meanwhile, the BMF title is on the line for the most violent fighter in the game, against Justin Gaethje.
My quickest way to a title shot is through number 2, and that's Dustin Poirier. He beat my ass in the past. That was a lesson that I had to learn.
Have you ever seen anything like Justin Gaethje? If you were to go through this entire roster and try to find the 2 baddest motherfuckers out there, right? I'm not sure you wouldn't settle on these 2 guys, right?
It's not a normal title. It's not an undisputed title. But man, being a bad motherfucker, that's something else.
Gaethje fans being heard from.
After that brutal knockout, Dustin's hype started to fade away, and he found himself in a dark place.
And now it's like time to talk about what's next for Dustin. I mean, this is a really crushing loss.
I don't know what's gonna happen next. So over him, I thought would have been a lock to get a title shot. So what am I fighting for? I'm not fighting just to fight. I did that my whole life. My whole life I've done that. I don't want to fight just to fight. I want it to be for something. After the Gaethje fight, man, I went through some real mental struggles, man. Like I was going through some stuff.
How bad did it get?
Really bad. Really bad.
To like worse than it's ever been?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did someone help you, or did you figure it out on your own?
My wife, really, dude, I'm just very thankful for her. If I was in her position, I don't know if I could take the stuff she's taken, you know. I would like to think I can, but I'm just grateful to have somebody like that.
As doubt began to surround him, people started saying he was done. But the UFC decided to throw him a challenge.
That's the big fight. That Saint-Denis guy is a killer.
A challenge to see if he still had what it takes.
He was the French version of Navy SEALs, whatever they are in France. The French version of Special Forces.
Man, it's a tough one. And man, is he gonna get destroyed?
It is insane to see that guy, like, within 6-7 years, become at the top of the heap of the UFC division. 155 is a shark tank.
And to go from 14 to 2?
Nuts.
The UFC's like, nah, you got it. You got this.
You can say I'm glazing all you want. Just wait until Benoit Saint-Denis goes out there and knocks out Dustin Poirier, and then we can talk.
I took this fight to challenge myself because I was kind of at a crossroads. You know, I just lost the BMF title. I was 35 years old. I got knocked out. How will I come back? Are people going to write me off? So I wanted to toss myself in that fire. Let me see if I still have it.
He is absolutely one of the most ferocious men to ever step foot in the octagon.
You read the papers? Do you know what everybody says? It's suicide! You've seen him, you know how strong he is. You can't win!
I said, you know what, I got to take this fight because I honor this game that we do. Eddie Alvarez gave me my shot in Dallas. When he was a former champion, I was on my way up. So you got to pay it back, hold your position or lose it, man. That's the nature of the beast. That's what we do. Dustin, you're the man. I'm just a man, Joe.
I reported on UFC Tonight that a youngster named Islam Makhachev wanted to fight you, and you kind of laughed it off. No interest?
I'm not sure who he is, but yeah, he can get his ass whipped too, man. Igor or whatever can get it too.
9 years later, Islam became the lightweight champion and the #1 pound for pound. Dustin's win over BSD brought back hopes of claiming gold, but it still wasn't enough for a title shot. The lightweight division is as stacked as ever, and Dustin stands third in the line for another opportunity.
Look at this. I just told him, stand right here.
Arman Tsarukyan has been suspended 9 months for throwing a punch at a fan during his walkout at UFC 300.
I'm getting notes. June 1st, Newark, New Jersey pay-per-view. Main event, Islam versus Poirier.
Right, and I understand the threat in front of me June 1st. The pound-for-pound #1 guy. Khabib's pupil, if you want to say. Look, man, what a way to finish a story. You know, it's like a real-life Rocky story. But I'm that guy to do it.
I set a goal out as a kid that knew nothing about what I was walking into, but kept walking and picking myself up. I feel like I've done everything in the sport, but wrapped the undisputed title around my waist. Being an undisputed champ is the reason I started fighting, and that still means a lot to me.
That's my dream. Now I'll push this as far as I can push it, and then I'll see what I'll do from there.
Is there anything else you want to accomplish in the sport other than that?
No, that's the top of the list.
I can't think of anything else that you haven't done. It would be one of the greatest stories, just the journey that you've been on, the highs and lows, the ups and downs, all of that, everything you've accomplished, and then to go down like this.
My last shot, mom spaghetti. Let's go.
And I say truth, he always look good when he fight with some striking guys, but when he meet with some wrestlers, he always have trouble. That's why he don't believe.
He should listen to his coaches and box like they're telling him to. Do that, Islam. Let's box.
This is not boxing, this is MMA, man.
In your perfect world, how do you do that? Is it a knockout, a submission, or do you beat him dominantly over 5 rounds?
I knock him out Saturday night. I knock him out.
So what made you bring the baby here this time?
Pete, come on in here. This is an honor for me to bring in Parker, who we have watched literally since Jolie was pregnant into this moment.
Because I don't know if I'm going to do this again. And I want her to see it. About this whole thing is when I was 18 years old, I told my wife, I won't fight past 35. And now here I am, 35. If it doesn't go my way, like what am I fighting for? Am I gonna get another title shot? Am I just fighting for money to stay busy? What's the reason I'm fighting for? I'll have to sit down and address that with myself. We'll see. But I know winning the belt would finish the story. It's the last chapter of the book.
Coming into this fight, you were saying you're 35 years old, this might be your last shot, but after such a competitive fight, an amazing fight for the title, what are your thoughts now?
I'm not 100%, but if this is my last fight, I wanted to dedicate this journey to the people who made me the man I am, and that's the women in my life. To my mother, we've had a crazy life. I love you, thanks for always having my back, and to my wife, I love you so much, I wouldn't be standing right here without you. And babe, Jolie, I don't know if I'd be breathing, honestly, if it wasn't for you. And to Parker, Daddy's mine, I love you so much. I'm so proud of you.
Well, if it is congratulations on an absolutely amazing career, and it has been an honor to call your fights.
Your mother said, and the way she was explaining your upbringing and all that, and saying you were basically a wild child. And now I see in front of me, I see a young man who's basically has control of his life and has aims and aspirations.
He's accomplished so much. He went from this alcoholic kid to, professional fighter. He's my hero.
I definitely think fighting has opened the path to redemption for me. I've been in boot camp and juvenile detentions and programs and all this stuff that's supposed to help you, and that didn't help, But when I found something that I wanted and that I really was gonna chase, no matter what roadblock was in front of me, I would break it down and go get it.
Your last victories, all the guys that you've beaten, dude, you talk about earning your way to the top. You went through a who's who of murderers row of the 155-pound division. You earned it. You really did earn it.
Paid in full. Sometimes I sit back and think about how far I've come in fighting, and just this wasn't by chance or by mistake. This was all premeditated, and
and part of the plan. At the end of my career, none of this is going to be done in vain. I really believe that I'm going to become the world champion and provide a better life for my daughter, my wife, my family, and change some few other lives along the path. I really believe that.
Dustin Poirier's dreams of becoming the undisputed champion may not have delivered a fairy tale ending, but his incredible journey has cemented his legacy as one of the greatest in the sport, and the beautiful life he built for his family.
So many people are so concerned with the destination and are so unconcerned with the journey. Our life is about this journey. It's not about where we get to. Where I get to or where I don't get to, I'm not so concerned with, because I know what I'm doing on this journey is making me who I am and is making me better and has made Dustin better. The journey is the focus. The destination is neither here nor there. I'm never going to get to a destination where I'm finished growing until I get to my grave.
Until next time, cheers.